Chris and Travis. I'm Travis.
And I'm Chris.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
Don't forget to also check us out on Instagram at Real Talk with Chris and Travis. So, I always like to start off everything with a question, and today's question is, can your children really inspire your dream? If y'all really follow, this podcast and y'all really rock with us, you know that, we had an episode where I was saying that children absolutely kill your dream, and I'm like, it depends on what you want to do. It depends on what you do. Well, me and Travis was having a conversation, and it turns out I was wrong, and I ain't afraid to admit that. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I was saying that kids get in the way, they set things back, blah, 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 blah. But it really comes down to how bad do you really want to, chase your dream? So, Travis, what you think?
Yeah, I feel like kids should inspire your dream. I feel like it should make you go harder. They should be the driving force for you to want to pursue whatever it is you want to do. Here's an example. Since you like talking about music,
okay,
Master P.
Okay.
His firstborn, Romeo. He had his son back when he was living in New Orleans in the Calio projects. So he didn't want his son to grow up in that environment. So, he packed up, moved to California. I think he ended up moving in with his baby mom's family or whatever. Then one of his family members died and left him $10,000. So he ended up starting his own record store. So from him starting his own record store, he ended up meeting different artists that were coming up, in California. He ended up meeting Tupac, and Tupac let him go on tour and open up for him. So I say that because he saw that his son he saw that the environment his son was going to end up growing up in, he didn't want him to get killed, his son to get killed, or him to eventually get killed. So I feel like his son was the driving force for him to say, forget this, I can't live this life no more. Take him up out of here and have to sacrifice and chase my dream so he don't have to grow up the way I did.
And it's very interesting that you bring up the point that he went to a whole nother state and lived with his child's mother's family members. As a man, that takes a lot, and I can't speak for every man, but I just know, like, if my wife, family members, wasn't living here and something was to happen and we had to, that was an option for me to go, like, we can go as a family and live with them, I'm just like, I think my pride wouldn't let me do it. I don't know, but I just wouldn't, hey, we can go out there and stay maybe a week, but we're going to get our own place. We're not about to live with them for no long time. You know what I'm saying? My pride just would absolutely kill that. But the fact that his son, Romeo, was the reason why he, like, I'm willing to go and stay with, my child's mother, family members. I'm willing to do this just to get my son out of this bad environment, And then on top of that, to take some money that you inherited and basically, like, start your own business and still, chase your dreams and all of that on top of, having to raise a son, what I'm saying? It's like, that's huge.
Right.
Because y'all know I was I was the advocate, like, nah, kids absolutely kill your dream. But, thinking about all of this, it's like, I believe I was absolutely wrong. And, I don't have no shame in admitting that. Y'all hear me out. I was wrong. Kids don't have to kill your dream. You just might have to do some adjusting, but they don't have to kill your dream. If you want it bad enough, you can still chase it,
Just think you got to know how to pivot, and it's going to take some sacrifice.
Who?
You got to know how to adjust to, okay, I have a child in this world now. So I'm going to have to figure out how I could adjust this, my life changing with having a child to chasing my dreams, You can't say that child is a burden because they didn't ask to come here.
True. I say that all the time too.
So
You know, and it's crazy because, like, okay, it really truly is all in how you see everything.
Right.
You know, you can look at that child as, man, see, if I ain't have children, this, that, and the third, which I know it does come, you know, with some pros and cons with having children, but as far as you get into whatever your dream is, you know, it's like, well, I can either adjust what I'm doing, you know, and then still pursue my dream, or I can choose to just throw my dream in the trash, but that's my fault, not my child's fault.
Right.
You know, and in saying all of this, you know, I had to stop and think about all of the single mothers and the single fathers that's out here. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a single parent, don't mean your dreams go in the trash. You know, I've seen lots of single mothers who was doing everything for their kids. They was working 2 and 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they had kids, but they also still had their own businesses. They also still was owning their own houses. You know what I'm saying? They was running their own business and managing other people's business. You know, but that's all because they was hungry. They wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, I was raised by a single mother, so I mean, I'm the only child, but I mean, imagine raising a child that has a disability. So I mean, that's like having 3 kids, you know. So I mean, it took some sacrifice. I mean, but I never heard my mom complain. She got up every day, made it happen, you know. I mean, it just depends on how bad you want it. I mean, you can't blame your child for your shortcomings in life, you know. So I feel like kids should be your driving force to go hard in life. You shouldn't want their struggles. I mean, their struggles to be your struggles, in my opinion.
You know, and all this talk about, you know, children inspiring you, you know, to chase your dream and have your business and whatever else it is. I know not every parent situation applies to this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody out here that's a parent, you know what I'm saying, your dreams don't have to take a back seat to your child. Because some situations it's a little bit different. But for the most part, if you really, really want to achieve that, you know, that dream, it can still happen. And, you know, as I say this, I was reminded of something that I heard Robert Kiyosaki say. And, you know, I don't know how many of you all are familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, but he is basically he's an entrepreneur who is now a millionaire. And he wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he said I don't remember how he wound up having 2 fathers, but his poor dad used to always tell him and his siblings that if he didn't have kids, he would have more money. And his poor dad used to tell him and his siblings that because rich people ain't have kids, that's why rich people had so much money. But then when Robert Kiyosaki, I guess he got adopted or something like that, but for whatever reason, when he got with his rich dad said his kids was the motivation for him having all of the businesses that he had, because the rich dad wanted to make sure he had money to take care of his kids, but he also wanted to make sure he had time to spend with his kids. So he would learn as much as he could, and then he would apply what he learned so that he wouldn't spend his life working for other people. He could set his own schedule, that way he could make his money and spend time with his kids. You know, so I mean, your kids can absolutely inspire your dream. You know, for my wife, you know, she was a single mother before I met her. And she told me many times, you know, that her daughter was the reason why she didn't give up on life. And she said, you know, absolutely, without my daughter, I would have gave up. You know, so, and it makes sense, because life is heavy enough. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, kids absolutely can inspire your dream.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, if I had kids, I mean, that'll make me go even harder than what I'm going now to try to give them the life I've never had, you know. I know it's going to take some sacrifice. It might take some time for me being away. But, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, it's gonna all pay off at the end, you know. So, I mean, you should want your kids to have options. I feel like, you know, options in life that you never had. So, I mean, yeah.
You know, that makes sense. It makes sense. You know, like when you said, you know, you would make the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, me personally, when I looked at that word sacrifice, it's like me sacrificing my strength, my energy, my time to go to jobs I hated, to make sure I had the money to take care of my kids. That's sacrifice to me. You know, but now, you know, thinking about Master P and, you know, thinking about single parents that I have had the pleasure to meet, you know, while I was working 13 years in retail, and they, you know, those single parents telling me, yeah, I got kids and all, but I'm working at this retail spot, and I'm working at, you know, this other retail spot part time, but when I'm at home, you know, I'm making things by hand and I'm selling them online because one day I'm gonna have my own store doing my own thing. And I'm like, but you also have 3 kids. I mean, so how you gonna juggle all of that? And they like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You know, and I guess it just never dawned on me, like, sometimes doing what you have to do don't always mean that you're not gonna be there for your kids. And I think that's what was tripping me up, was the fact that, like, okay, if I go out in the garage and work on whatever I want to work on for like an hour or two, I might miss something important in my kid's life for that hour or two every day. And then I don't, you know, I didn't want my kids to feel like, well, my daddy wasn't here for this and that. So I'm just like, I'll wait till they get to a certain age, and then I can chase what I want. But, you know, like I say, I could be absolutely, and I think 100% wrong. You know, I just, you know, you got to see life a different way, and today just might be my epiphany. You know, I didn't know.
I mean, sometimes I feel like it's okay to be selfish. I feel like it's okay to be selfish, to get yourself together in order to lead. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, you got to be right. Yourself have to be right in order to be right for your family or whatever, or, you know, for your child.
So there's a good selfish and there's a bad selfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're supposed to learn something new every day, and I just did.
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with taking time out. Like if you're, you know, you're married or whatever. If you're married, you know, take some time out to focus on yourself and what it is you want to do. You know, if you're a single parent, I mean, I guess your time would be when the child is asleep. You know, you might have to sacrifice you going to sleep, but I mean,
Yeah. You know, like you said before, when we was talking about can kids destroy your dream, you know, you was like, take an hour. You know what I'm saying? Just 1 hour a day. So it might be, you get your kids to go to sleep for like 8:30, 9 o'clock, you might be up to 10 working on your dream.
right.
You know, but at least you consistent and you learning every day while you still have your kids to take care of.
Right.
So that when it all pays off and you running your own business making, you know, 500 grand a year, you spending time with your kids, you got plenty of money to take care of what you need to take care of, and your kids, you ain't missing nothing in their life.
I mean, I feel like when it all pays off, your kids gonna thank you in the end, you know? Because, I mean, now you're living the life that you desire to live, and they're also living a better life than what you had when you were growing up, and, you know, you're giving them options in life, you know? And their struggles won't be your struggles. They're gonna have struggles, but it won't be the same struggles you had.
Right. Basically repeating the cycle.
Yeah.
Spend your whole life working for somebody else for 30 years, not getting paid enough.
Right.
Living from paycheck to paycheck, falling behind on bills, just all of that.
Yeah.
You know, and y'all know, you know, with this podcast, we all about, you know, independence. And it's not just, you know, independence physically because we disabled, but, you know, financial freedom is a part of your independence. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, being independent, you know, basically mean not having to rely on another person to do something for you. And a lot of times we kind of equate that to doing physical things because we have disabilities. But also, too, you know, not having to be dependent on the government for a paycheck every month, or having to depend on, you know, an employer for a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or every month. That's, you know, that's part of independence too. You know, having your own business, And so, like, you know, on this podcast, we just real big on independence. And so a lot of the topics that we tend to cover is just like stuff that, you know, can influence your independence. You know what I'm saying? Like kids, or using technology to make money from home or from wherever you are. You know, we talk a lot about that kind of stuff, and it's only because this podcast is all about, you know, independence, you know, and true freedom. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, we understand that some people aren't entrepreneurs. You know, some people are okay with being workers. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, you should still, you know, not be want to be complacent. I mean, this pandemic should have taught a lot of people a lesson. You know,
yeah.
That, I mean, if you depend on a job to give you money and you get let go, then your money stops right there. So I mean, you should always have like a side hustle. You know,
A couple of them.
a few of them. Yeah, you know, just something. But I mean, yeah, I mean, freedom is being able to do what you want to do, you know. So, I mean, everybody should want some type of freedom to be able to not having to depend on, you know, a job.
Somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else to give you money, because once that money stops, that's what you're going to do then. So, yeah.
You know, so y'all let us know in the comments. I mean, you know, for the ones who out there that have kids, you know, do your, you know, where we right in saying that, you know, hey, you know, your children can inspire your dreams. You know, and for those that don't have kids, it's like, well, I don't have no kids, and, you know, what y'all think about that? I feel like, man, ain't no limits. You know what I'm saying? Life don't have to. Yeah, I know, right?
No limit.
Talking about Master P, it's saying no limit right there. You know, but life can put physical limits on you. Let me say it that way. But you don't have to let those limits stop you. You know, and I can say out of my own mouth that I was looking at my kids. Not that having kids was bad, but it's like they would. You know, I felt like my kids was limiting my finances and my time to the point where it's like, when my kids was a hindrance to me, and I was absolutely wrong. You know, so I mean, my mind is changing now. You know, and that's a good thing. You know, we here to entertain and educate, but at the same time, there's no rule that's saying we can't learn too as we doing this. You know, so we hope y'all, you know, really enjoying this video.
Yeah, y'all drop a comment and let us know what you think. Give us y'all thoughts, you know, opinions on this topic. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
And also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Real Talk with Chris and Travis. And we'll be back with another video.
Stay tuned.
And we out.
Peace.